Today's toolbox is what we call the 8 touch points. These are crucial opportunities that you have to communicate, to build relations, and to take ownership of the customer's experience within your shop. Essentially, the 8 touch points define the customer's journey or the roadmap by which you will navigate the customer through. It's the cycle they go through from beginning to end each time the customer brings a vehicle in for work in your shop. At the Biosphere, we believe there are 8 touch points that are necessary to complete the customer journey at an exceptional level. In just a minute, I'm going to share with you those exact 8 touch points, and these are the ones that we teach our Biosphere clients as part of our coaching program. But first, let's talk about accountability. For each touch point, you need to create clear and concise processes and procedures that are expected to be followed by anyone and everyone in your shop who interacts with the customers at the various touch points. The 8 touch points give you a chance to wow customers at every single step of their journey with you. And you don't want to leave the customer journey to chance, because a random approach will yield random results. The first touch point is the incoming call to set the appointment. Do you know that out of all the calls coming into the average auto repair shop, 49% of those calls are people seeking service? Of those calls, only 44% are converted into appointments, meaning a whopping 56% of callers who are seeking service are not coming in your door. That's the industry average. Another interesting stat. 84% of callers stop doing business with a company after one bad phone call experience. So what you say and do and how you say and do it really matters. That's why we at the Biosphere teach an entire course just on converting incoming calls into appointments that show up. We teach a very specific script with very specific best practices built in, all designed and proven to convert calls at a higher rate. Please do not allow your team to take a random approach to incoming calls. Give them an SOP to follow and hold them accountable for following it. The second touch point is the drop-off. I understand during a pandemic you may be doing a contactless drop-off, and that is completely understandable. If you are contactless, you may still have some protocol to follow during this touch point. If you're not completely contactless, there are several best practices you can follow during the drop-off, such as making sure the great eye contact is used, there's a warm smile, you're properly setting expectations while the customer car is in your shop, and you're carefully confirming all the information on the car and the customer, making sure it's accurate. The third touch point is the walk around with the customer. Again, during a pandemic, you may be doing a contactless drop-off, and the walk around with the customer may not be possible. But if you're not totally contactless, you can do a social distancing walk around with the customer. There are many specific protocol to follow when you're doing a walk around with the customer, such as don't do one in the pouring rain, don't do one when it's too hot outside, and don't expect a customer with a mobility issue to do a walk around with you. We teach a very specific walk-around method to our clients, which includes having a walk-around SOP and a form that must be completed to show the results of the walk-around. The protocol that your service advisors follow during this touch point should leave a great impression on the customer, should cover any potential liability issues, and it should lead to some possible upsell opportunities. The fourth touch point is the status update call, which we at the Biosphere call the 2 o'clock callback. The 2 o'clock callback, being a status update by design, may very well take place before the car has even been taken into the shop. It's a call to just let the customer know where you are in the process. And it might not even take place at 2 o'clock. It might be before 2 o'clock, but it shouldn't take place much later than that. We teach service advisors to set the 2 o'clock callback expectation as part of the initial incoming phone call script, and then to remind customers when they drop off their vehicle about it. Basically, the 2 o'clock callback expectation is your way of politely saying, don't call me, I'll call you. That way, the customer can leave their car with you and not worry about it. It also helps to ensure that you won't get a call from the customer or several calls from the customer in which you're not prepared to take right in the middle of doing something else. The 2 o'clock callback allows the service advisor to stay in control of the flow of conversation. The fifth touch point is the callback to sell needed work. Again, we have an entire course dedicated to this very topic. There are many, many protocols and best practices to ensure the highest level of customer care during this touch point. Though the callback to sell the needed work is about selling and an assumptive selling attitude is really important, the most crucial component of this touch point is to fully educate the customer about what their vehicle needs. When you fully educate, the needed work will oftentimes sell itself. To best educate the customer about what their vehicle needs, be sure to have a step-by-step protocol clearly defined for your service advisors to follow during this touch point. The sixth touch point is the pickup and delivery of the car back to the customer. Again, defining specific protocols and best practices for your service advisors to follow can help this touch point have a positive impact on the customer experience. This touch point is the time to review and schedule any upcoming work based on mileage or any work that was needed but declined. It's also the time to be engaging, slow down and be in the moment, and use good eye contact and have a smile on your face. The seventh touch point is what we call the 24-hour callback. This is a call to the customer one day after their visit, and it's intended to be a check-in to see how the work you did is working for them. We teach specific word tracks in our coaching program for this touch point. Essentially, you want to make sure that they're happy with the service they received, and if they're not, you want to make it right away before they have a chance to blast you with a negative review. Finally, the eighth touch point, the handwritten thank you card. This is your final chance to make a great impression during the customer journey. The thank you card need not be lengthy, but it should be personalized, handwritten, and sent via snail mail. We teach a specific step-by-step method for writing a short yet really effective thank you card. We also teach certain protocol as to when to send the card. Ideally, it's to every customer, but when that's not realistic, certainly send them to all new customers and to returning customers at least once a year. So there you have it, the 8 touch points. To the greatest extent possible, the same person should carry out each of these touch points during the course of the customer journey. The fact is, when an exceptional approach is taken at each and every touch point, you will have created a 5-star experience for the customer at your shop. That customer then becomes your raving fan. They tell other people about you, they become loyal to your shop, and they'll leave you a great review. As always, thank you so much for watching today, and thank you for coming alongside me as we build something better together.